We spend an awful lot of time talking about tyres, suspension, all the 12-volt gear. But one of the mods that we use literally every minute of every trip is the one that we hardly ever talk about. We're talking about the UHF, and this is the GME. Now, this has been in every one of my vehicles for at least the last 5 years. Let's talk about that. To be honest, we didn't really think too much about the UHF when we fitted it. It was done on my first Hilux by 4x4 Customs in Capalaba, and they just said, "You want a UHF?" I'm like, absolutely. They whacked the GME in for me, and that was it. We just got on with the build. But over the years, it's become one of the most used accessories in the cruiser, where it's calling from spotters, helping us over rocks, or driving along the beach looking for campsites, or up the tracks looking for where we're going next. This thing is used heavily on every trip. So today, we're going to go over years of ownership to answer one simple question: would we buy this again in 2026? UHF stands for Ultra High Frequency Radio. Now, I'm nowhere near smart enough to try and explain to you how it works, because it does get very complicated. So just to keep it simple, you don't need any network, you don't need any communication towers, you don't need any 5G. As long as you're within range of the other radio, the communication will happen with some black magic, but it happens. Now, I know I don't look old enough, but we've been using UHF from the 80s and 90s. And look, it's just such an important tool to have up in the bush or on the beach. You need a communication tool. The unit itself, well, it can be mounted anywhere. I've got mine right here in the dashboard. Anywhere in the dashboard's good. People mount them on their overhead console, wherever. As long as it doesn't get in the way of all the gear stick and the pedals and your vision, you're sweet. Now, the antenna, or the whip as it's sometimes called, is mounted up on the bull bar. Now, this is the big long antenna. This is the biggest one that GME do. And the big long one, like, there's a whole range of different antennas everywhere that GME produce, but this is probably the most heavy duty one for 4-wheel drives. So the long ones like this produce a really narrow field of signal. So this is really good for going long distances, say down a beach, or if you're out towards Birdsville on those big long plains, or out the Nullarbor. Anything that doesn't have much obstruction in the way, like trees or hills or anything like that, these long ones are absolutely brilliant. If you are in the scrub, or you are up in forest or hills or stuff, these short ones are going to be better. Now, these produce more of a circle signal, so they go up and round instead of just, these ones are a lot sharper. So these ones are going to be a lot better for going over hills and going through scrub trees and stuff. These are your go. Beach, hills, easy. All right, with that all out of the way, let's talk about the install. All right, so the one that we have is the GME. It's the XRS Connect. Now, we have, as I said, had it for 5 years, but it has been superseded in the last 6 months. We saw the new ones at the 4-wheel drive show in Brisbane back in March. So busting to get my hands on those, because they have a few new features. But in the meantime, if you get one like the one I have, it comes with the headset, which is what you control most things from. It comes with the box that you put underneath the dashboard. That's the brains of it that everything plugs into, and it comes with all the cables and the mount and the aerial, or two, depending on what pack you buy. So really not that much of an install as far as technical goes. You just need to run a couple of wires from the firewall to the battery, positive and negative, and then you need to run your cable through the engine bay, in my case through the grille, and up onto the bull bar for the aerial. In the cab, you need to plug everything into the brains of it, which I've hidden up behind the glove box, and then you just bring the main cable for the radio handset, the cord, through. I've put it through a switch in my dashboard, a pass-through switch. It's like a Cat6 cable, just plugs in, and it plugs in, and I can actually take that off anytime I want. So if I'm not using the UHF, I can just unplug it and put it in the glove box, and you wouldn't even know there's one in the car. Right, the install's done. Let's talk about some of the features of this radio. Now, first and foremost, it's Australian made, which in my book, that's the best thing to have, because you know it's going to stand the test of time. GME have been around for an awful long time. On a side note, we're not sponsored. I bought this myself. I actually really like this radio. Nothing to do with GME at all. These things are IP67 rated, so they're dust-proof, waterproof, all that stuff. It's got a big bright OLED screen on it. You can see it in any day or night conditions. It's got a 2-watt speaker in the headset and the handset. Now, what that means is you can also connect it up through the brains of the box to your car speakers as well. I used to have mine connected up to the 2 little tiny speakers in the cruiser, just to make it a little bit louder. And if that's not enough, it's got a Bluetooth add-on module. You can connect it up to your AirPods. So there's really no excuse for not hearing the radio these days. And one of the other, it's got 80 channels as well, before I forget. One of the other things that I didn't realize until very recently is it does have the GME location services. So let's have a chat about that. All right, so the location services are something I've just discovered, and my good mate Johnny, you know who you are, taught me all about this the last time we were on Morton. It does come with an app which will connect to the radio, and the last time we were on Morton, I don't know if you can see this, but I put my campsite where we stayed at, pin dropped it. So the next time I go to Morton, I'll know exactly where I camped. Pretty cool, all done with the radio. What was cool on Morton, when we were looking for this campsite, Johnny was in his car, I was in mine. He had a XRS Connect radio as well, the GME, so we both had the same radios. We were driving up the beach and he said, right, just do this with the app and I'll go up into the background. Every time he pressed the button to talk to me, it updated his location on the app in real time. No satellites, no nothing, real time. So I could see exactly where he was. So we were both up and down the beach looking for campsites. He was probably 2 k's away from me and he goes, Richo, I got a campsite here, come and see. And I was able to look on the map and go right there. It plotted my position as well, so I was able to go and find him. To me, that's just a feature that is ridiculously impressive when you're trying to do something like we were trying to do. Or if one of your mates is broken down up the track, say up in the glassy, and they need you to come and rescue them. Like when you're on the radio, when you get close to radio contact, you can zero in exactly where they are and go and help them. Location services blew my mind what GME are doing. Very cool. All right, so we have mounted the GME on a tough terrain bracket. Now what this does, this thing folds down and stuff and locks into place. Very handy if you're trying to get into a garage, if your garage door isn't high enough or you're into an underground car park, will fold down out of the way. This is from Outback Equipment. If you scroll down below in the comments, into the description, you'll find a discount code for this and everything else Outback Equipment have to offer. We also carry 2 handhelds with us now. I've had these little guys for years and years. They're not that good, but look, they get us out of trouble. We actually, the last time we were at the glassy shooting, Logan, who's behind the camera, he dropped one on the track and we had to go back up and find it. These are easily lost, but what these are very cool for is if you're going up a track and you've got a spotter, they can spot you. They don't have to be in the car. Or again, if you're out of your car, because say you're using the winch, you don't want to be near the car, you want to be well away from the car and it's anchored properly, you can be on with your remote control of your winch on one of these away from all the danger area. So handhelds are very much in the mix when it comes to communications on the tracks. On the beach too, like you could be down with a fishing rod, the boys are up at camp, you could be on the beach flicking a line in, not me because I don't fish. Trent might be down there catching nothing on the beach and he could, hey, can somebody bring us a beer? We won't, but he could tell us anyhow. We could ask him, how many fish have you caught? And he'll say none, and we'll go, oh, that's 2. We're at camp. Handhelds. Don't leave home without them. Let's talk about build quality. You can feel it as soon as you pick it up. It just feels, it's robust. It's made in Australia. You know it's going to last. This is as good as the day I bought it 5 years ago. There's really absolutely nothing wrong with it. I've dropped it a few times. There's a few scratches on it, but that's not GME's fault. That's the operator error. What I love about it is you can unplug, like I said earlier. So when you're just driving around town, it can go in the glove box out of the way. But build quality, I rate it. 5 years old. Still working perfectly. The other thing I do like about it is when you're changing channels, so we've got a backup channel if there's too many people on the channel that we're on, we've always got a backup. And as soon as somebody says, right, let's go channel 79 to channel 23, whatever it happens to be, it is so easy with the big buttons on it. Even when you're driving, just to go up to that second channel, everything's very tactile, very easy to do. I really I'm a big fan of this radio and I'm busting to get my hands on the new one because I think it's even better. Let's talk about cons, because there is a couple in my eyes, and I'm not sure if this is a GME thing or if it's a complete radio, UHF radio thing, but I don't like the way the connection for the whip, for the cable, the coax cable that goes into the cab is at the radio end, not the whip end. So if you want to do anything, if you want to take your grill off, the bull bar off, if you want to add a bracket, the fold down bracket, mine's not too bad because it does have a cutout in it, but any of those things, you've got to completely take the coax cable all the way back out of the engine bay just to take the grill off if you're changing grill. So it's a bit of a pain in the bum. Might not be a GME thing, but it might be. And the other thing, the other big one you're going to look at is price. This is a premium Australian made product and you do get what you pay for, and there is a lot of value here. But when you're in one of the automotive superstores and all the brands are there and you're looking at a UHF radio and you're thinking, is there really much difference? And there will be a difference in price. Do you get what you pay for? You do. all the, like we said, the location service, all that stuff. I can justify it, but it is a con to a lot of people because they are a premium price. All right, so who should buy this? Well, everybody. Because if you're going to the beach, you're going to the bush, you're going for the weekend away, you're doing any sort of four-wheel driving or any sort of traveling in a convoy. So we went out to the Big Red Bash a couple of years ago out at Birdsville, and my daughter went in her Hilux. She was on her P's still, and we were trying to teach her how to overtake those big road trains out in the back of Whoop Whoop. Now, with the two-way radio on in her car, we were able to go up front, pass the road train, and be a good couple of Ks up the road, so we absolutely knew there was nothing coming, and we were able to get back there and say, right, you're absolutely safe to pass now, off you go. Not just for P-players, like if you're in a convoy out west and you're trying to get past traffic, these big road trains, a UHF is nearly mandatory to have, because you need that for safety on the road. Plus you can talk to the trucks and say, hey, we're behind you, do you mind if we come past? And 9 times out of 10, those guys will go, yep, absolutely, nothing coming, off you go. Just very, very good safety precaution to have, and a good insurance policy. But communication, if you get stuck and you've no mobile signal, I know Starlink's everywhere now, but you might not have Starlink, or you might have run out of subscription, or your battery might have cacked it and Starlink doesn't fire up. All these things, if you have a handheld radio, you've got half a chance. So UHF is for everybody. So in conclusion, going back to what we asked at the very start of this episode, would I buy this again in 2026? Absolutely, yes. This has become one of the things that's in our cars that we just take everywhere. It's in the car, it goes everywhere with us, but it's one of those products that we just use. We don't even think about it anymore. It turns on, it's there, it's used all the time, every trip for every vehicle, and it's just something that we would not absolutely do without now. And look, this thing has survived dirt, dust, salt water. I'm not going to say snow because we live in Queensland, but everything we've thrown at it, it just keeps on going without a beat of a heartbeat. It's reliable, and that's what you want in a communication two-way radio. Before I forget, you could mount 2 aerials here if you had to. I know Andy's mounted a second big one. He's got that connected to Bluetooth, so it's really not connected to anything, but it looks good and he likes it. Next time you see him, ask him what that one does. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments, if you know how to fix this cord so it's easier to unplug, I'd love to know. Drop a comment below. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.